So now, Kia, down to the juicy stuff. The reason that I brought you in is to talk about the controversy, so to speak, that's going on around the WNBA right now. And in the way that the media has portrayed the WNBA about essentially one person, right? And Caitlin Clark. It's like everything is zoomed in, geared toward Caitlin Clark. Do you think that the media is missing things about the history of the WNBA and how long it's been around, how successful it's been thus far?
Yeah, I do think there's, think about it this way. We've got new fans to the league. Obviously, we've got new players in a new rookie class. And along with that comes new media, right? There's people that this is what we've always kind of hoped for is that you follow your favorite players from the NCAA into their women's professional career. And at times it's been really difficult to do that. Think about a player that comes from Connecticut. You could use a Brianna Stewart, for example, comes from Connecticut, has an illustrious college career, 4 national championships, pretty much every single, not pretty much, every single award you possibly could have won, she won it. But then she went to a team in Seattle. And at the time, Seattle's games were on all of the networks in Seattle. So all the Connecticut fans almost couldn't find that network to watch her, to follow her career as it was going on. And now it's in a different place, right? We're able to actually watch our favorite players in the NCAA as fans and then follow them into the WNBA because now you're starting to see games on television. Now you can get it on League Pass. Now there's, Prime, all these different things that you can watch the games on. And that's exciting for us, but it also brings in new media. And sometimes the media doesn't, like you said, know the history of the game, know kind of the people that came before. Us as players, we understand it because this league wouldn't exist if the players before me didn't come and the players before them didn't come. And now I have the opportunity to reap the benefits of what the WNBA is today. It'll be the same thing for those next generations. And so there are a lot of narratives. There's a lot of talk around the WNBA. It's great that people are talking about it. I think the big thing is to talk about the WNBA. It's okay to be new. It's okay to say that you're new and that you might not understand everything. Ask us. Like, we're here. There's 144 of us, not just one of us. We're here. We're willing to share our stories. We're willing to tell you kind of how it was when we came in. I'm a 7-year vet. You can get someone like DT who's been here for since I was born, 20 years. I played with DT. I got all those stories from her too, from the beginnings of her years here. So understanding our league is about understanding the players that are within it. It's the hardest league in the world to make. It's the hardest league in the world to stay in. And so the stories that are there for the people who have been able to stay in it and make this league are incredible stories. It's worth asking them for their first viewpoint of it in order for you to get an understanding of it.
Growing up in Los Angeles, so I had the opportunity as a kid to watch Cheryl Swoops
Mhm.
and Cynthia Cooper play. And I'm really good friends with Cynthia. But my best friend is one of my best friends is Tina Thompson. I went to school with, obviously, high school and in college. I used to fly in during their times in Houston to watch them play. But I saw Tina play, obviously, with the Sparks because of LA. So I take myself away from those that don't understand the history of the game, and don't really Teresa Weatherspoon was
Yeah.
one of my road dogs in New York when I played for the Jets. I was just a young kid and she was playing in the WNBA back then. So I kind of got a little bit of an understanding about, what's going on in the WNBA. So I take myself away from the traditional media gossipers for sure.
I
You
appreciate you.
know,
Teaspoon's one of my favorites. She was one of the coaches I had coming into New York, and to this day, one of the best people that I've ever met in the WNBA, Teaspoon, for sure.
what advice, Kia, would you give Caitlin Clark? Not only does she have to deal with playing basketball on the court, but this all of a sudden burden that she's been assigned with to, I don't know, carry, let's say, the WNBA, but also try to, I don't know, appeal to a certain fan base within Indiana or Iowa or WNBA across the board, and then factor into the race component because you got a white girl from the Midwest, from Iowa, coming into a league that's already kind of been established, shoehorned into the league, and they anointed her as the one. But what advice would you give her to kind of be able to handle it? Because you've been there before as a star coming out of UConn.
Yeah, honestly, it's about the people that are around you. And a lot of it is noise. And unfortunately, because we have cell phones now and everything is so easily accessible and information is so easily accessible to all of us, it's easy to get lost in what everybody else is saying and what the noise around you is. And for me, what I've found most helpful is to be able to create a close circle around me, knowing the people that whose opinions matter to me and whether those opinions are good or bad. I need people in there that are going to tell me good things. I need people in there that are going to keep it real with me and make sure that I hear the hard truths as well. But protecting your space is huge. And especially because there is so much kind of on her shoulders. And I think, she'd have to handle it in a quick span of time too. You don't even really get a lot of time to digest that your college career is done, because then you get drafted, then you get thrown in the WNBA. It's all these new narratives that are showing up. And so, protect your peace, protect your space, and have the people around you that are going to be there to hold on to you and help you in those moments that are more difficult, but also to celebrate you in those moments that are great, because there'll be a lot of highs and lows, and the lows feel long, the highs feel short, but the highs are worth it in this league. To be able to do this, I tell people all the time, I run up and down a court for a living. Like, who gets to do that? As much as I don't want to run all the time, I love it. It's the best job in the entire world.
No, yeah, I always used to tell people, even in sports or what I do now, I'm like, man, you have no idea. It's a certain preparation, but the fun is when I get to interview people like yourself, or the fun was when I got to play on Sundays. It wasn't necessarily practice. It was fun, and I got paid to do it. So we absolutely hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more from us, hit that subscribe button for all videos, full episodes, and exclusive content from the show. And don't forget to find All Facts, No Breaks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.